Hey, grand Sunday morning, everybody. How are you? This is Mark Pay, and I'm coming to you live from my home. Just wanted to take a moment to share with you guys something that's been on my heart over the last couple weeks. So I've had some friends reach out to me in the last, 2 weeks or so maybe, and they were like, "Okay, Mark, we see you got your new art center, and technically the art center is not new. I've been doing music and the arts for many years in Atlanta, Baltimore, Maryland, Los Angeles, California, and now here in Indianapolis, Indiana. But we just were granted our 501c3 tax exempt status, and that affords us to do a lot more things in the community to help kids and families in underserved communities, urban communities, to help them find their voice through music and the arts. So we have a campaign going on right now called Have a Heart for the Arts. And so we're encouraging people to donate to helping us create programs, bring programs together. I've got some great things I'm going to be rolling out in the next couple of weeks that's going to impact the community. Most of you have seen the work I've done with kids, I've done with schools, and so now we're able to take it to another level. But they've been asking me, Mark, why do you go so hard, for the kids? You've worked in the industry, you've done this, you've done that, but it's like you go harder in this area of your life. People know me from ministry. They've known me as being a music and worship arts director at at churches, minister of music, choir director. I've done all of that, and they've known me as a producer, music producer, and a music director for different artists. And they've been like, but what is it about these kids that you go so hard? You go harder for them than you did in the other industries. And I tell them, I said, very observant. I said, and the reason why I go hard for these kids is the reason I'm going to share with you today. I felt inclined to share my testimony. That's why I'm here at the crib. It's quiet. And I just wanted to just share something that I don't think I've shared publicly. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of tea, if you would, coffee, whatever you want to call it, but it's some insights into my life. So check this out. Years ago, when I was in the third grade, first of all, let me back up. If this, and this is not a sermon, this is not a message, this is just me sharing, but if there was a title that I would give it, I would call it How the Letter R Changed My Life. I can see some of you, How the letter R, how it changed my life. Okay, so I was in the third grade, I might say third grade. And, I was like any other kid, basically. So I thought, I get a note to give to my mom. Note says, "Mrs. Pay, I need you to come to school tomorrow. Very important. It's regarding your son." Mom goes to the school, sit down with the counselor, and says, "Mrs. Pay, we've been monitoring your son since he's been here since kindergarten, and we have a concern. Your son all day, all he does is just tapping and singing and running around, and he's not focused like the other kids." Mom said, "Was he learning the material?" "Well, we think he is. I mean, he's a great reader for his age, but we think that he might be autistic." So my mom looks at them and gives them the anointed side eye and says, "Okay, you think my son's autistic?" I said, "Okay, I'll get back to you on that." So she immediately scheduled to have me properly tested with the kind of counselors and doctors that would do an assessment, a true clinical assessment, psychological assessment. And the results came back. Come to find out, the verdict was in. Again, the name of this sharing is how the letter R changed my life. So I didn't even know what the results were until we get to school. My mom says, I'll be up at the school today. I'm like, oh God, here we go. My mom comes to the school, goes to the counselor's office, shows them the results. She said, they said, not only is my son not autistic, he's aUtistic. They said so much so, and they had the notes and everything. They said he's off the charts in his academic cognitive understanding and his artistic acceleration. He's artistic. So technically what happened was, where the letter U was in the word autistic, God flipped that around and placed the letter R in it. So instead of me being aUtistic, I was artistic. So this is no indictment. This is no labeling or impugning on any child who may suffer from literal autism, diagnosed with autism. But this is more of a clarion call to those who feel like they may have a child who has ADHD or suffering from autism or some other diagnosis. And but yet you've watched that child. They got rhythm. They sing all the time. They best understand things when it's put into a musical or visual context. That was me. I was the tactile, kinesthetic learner, hands-on. I needed to do it. And so the doctor who diagnosed that situation called the school with a recommendation. They said, we recommend one of two things with Mr. Mark Pay, the one who you labeled as autistic, ADHD. They said, either you need to advance him a grade so that next year, instead of him going to the 4th grade, he goes to the 5th grade, or there's a special program called the Gifted and Talented Education Program. And they said this with my mother there. This program is for kids who are gifted and talented. And that's another type of special education. And so they said, we want to suggest that he go to this school. It's on the other side of town. You live in West Baltimore. This school's all the way in East Baltimore. He'll have to go there on his own nickel. You know, there's no school bus for this. He'll have to catch public transportation 40 minutes one way to get to this school. But we believe they have everything in place to support his type of learning. And my mother, in all her wisdom, said, and me, of course, I wanted to be the big man on campus. Yeah, Mom, I want to go to 5th grade and all my other friends in the 4th grade. My mother said, no, you're going to go to this other school. And you're going to learn what they have for you to foster and develop what's in you. Best decision she could have ever made. Because it was at that school I got introduced to piano. I learned the trumpet. So I spent 4th, 5th, and 6th grade in that school. 7th and 8th grade, I then went to a performing arts middle school. That was the school in the city for kids who were gifted in music and the arts. And then in high school, I then was accepted into the Baltimore School for the Performing Arts. My point is this: the reason I go so hard for these kids, for these babies, musically and artistically, and why the iDream Center for the Arts exists, is because we want to help kids find their voice. Anybody ever see the movie Akilah and the Bee? She's spell prestidigitation. P-R-E-S-D, everything was a tap, 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 tap. That was me. It's still me. Sometimes y'all be hearing me, see me playing the piano, I'm playing and I'll do this. It's because I hear the melodies that I want to play or that I want to sing in my head, and I'm rhythmic. So my clarion call for those parents who just notice, my child learns different, a little different than everybody else. It's not like a bad different, it's just different. You don't know what to do with it. Our iDream Center for the Arts is an opportunity for our kids to express themselves musically, to find their voice, and to be around like-minded, a safe, like-minded peer group of kids who enjoy singing. There was a quick testimony, one of my, and not just enjoy singing, enjoy the arts and music. I had a student 2 years ago. I'm not going to call her name, but I'm going to just call her Princess Elsa. And the reason I call her Princess Elsa is because sometimes she would come to my class today and say, "I'm Princess Elsa today." She'd be something different every day. She was in the special needs or special education class that would come in. Some of these kids had different things that they were working through, different challenges. Some of them were physical, some of them were cognitive. But so she was in that special, that class, the SPED class, and she would come in and her written skills were not her grade level. She was in 5th grade. Some of her oratory skills were not. But when I tell you that young lady knew every lyric, word for word, of every song on Disney Channel, every theme song for every show on Disney Channel. She knew every song and every lyric for every children's movie that was made during her lifetime. And would sing it in perfect pitch. Runs, background, lead vocals, and all. That was her voice. That was her voice. And so that's what I'm striving to do, is create a safe haven and a place for parents and kids to explore who they are in the arts. This is productions. This is musicals. This is spoken word opportunities. A good 50% of the kids that I've worked with in Baltimore, Maryland, in Atlanta, Georgia, in Indianapolis, Indiana, and in Los Angeles. Los Angeles, Atlanta, Indianapolis, and Baltimore. A good 50% of the kids I work with were kids, and who were the ones that really shined are the ones whose parents didn't even know they had a gift. They just knew, this child, they all over the place in class. I'm trying to get them contained. I'm trying to get them, focused. And once they started developing that gift in them, they became more what? Disciplined. That's why you call music, theater, visual arts, and dance, you call those disciplines. I teach my students because you have to be disciplined in order to do those things. So not just at basketball, not just at football. You have to be disciplined to do the arts. And so that's why I go hard for the kids. I just want to take time, casual day here at the Pay Crib. I'm sitting here in shorts and flip-flops and just maxing, relaxing, cooling off, shooting some b-ball outside of the school, just relaxing. And I wanted to just share this message because it was on me. This is why I go so hard for the kids. If you're so inclined, please say a prayer for our iDream Center for the Arts as we strive to build communities of kids through the arts. I'm excited because although I teach now K through 2nd grade at the school, I'm the fine arts director at Him by Her Collegiate School for the Arts, a school here in Indianapolis that serves K through 2nd grade. The iDream Center for the Arts also teaches kids third grade through high school. We empower them with piano lessons, showcases, workshops, group outings, things of that nature, ways to empower them through leadership, through the arts. And so just say a prayer for us that as we have this 501c3, that God will lead us to funding, lead us to opportunities, corporate funding, federal funding, any funding that will allow us to impact these kids. If you feel so led to make a donation to help us do that, help us secure one of our locations in the city, to also get some much needed equipment and resources to better encourage and uplift our kids, foster a sense of empowerment with them through the arts. That would be greatly appreciated as well. You'll find the link attached in the comments. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, spread the word. If you're watching this on Facebook, click like, and feel free to share. And matter of fact, don't just feel free to share, I'm asking you to share. Each one, touch one. Okay, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you. Happy Sunday to you. I'll be releasing more worship stuff. People can hit me up saying, Mark, can you share some worship songs and things of that nature? And I'll also be sharing some leadership empowerment blogs, if you will, vlogs, if you will. I have some leadership empowerment training that I'll be doing as well. Finally, before I go, I want you to be on the lookout, because this week I'm going to announce one of the projects that we're working on for our iDream Art Center rollout. So just stay tuned. I'll give you some great information, some great ideas. I'm thankful for the people that have partnered with me and supported what we do. If you need to reach me directly, feel free to reach us. Right now, our website is under construction. It'll be final in the next about a week. But hit me up at idreamartscenter@gmail.com. idreamartscenter@gmail.com. And feel free to reach out, or on Facebook if you're a friend, or inbox me if you're not. And I look forward to talking to you guys soon and sharing what God is doing through the iDream Center. Somebody asked, what does iDream stand for? DREAM stands for Developing Rising Entrepreneurs Through Arts and Music. I develop rising entrepreneurs through arts and music. All right, you guys, much love. Stay safe. Don't forget to wear your masks. Stay socially distanced. We're going to be doing some rollouts starting October 1st, when here in Indianapolis they do more in-person teaching, person-to-person teaching. I'll give more information about that as well. All right, you guys, stay up. Love you. Talk to you soon. God bless.